Protect that brain. You better protect that brain.
That should be like a jingle for some sort of drug. Protect that brain. Pop them twice a day. Pop, pop, You know what I'm saying?
They don't make jingles anymore.
Is that true? I don't watch commercials anymore.
You never see any commercials.
I mean, not really. The only commercials that like come up are when I'm watching the Olympics on Peacock, and they're the same two commercials, and it drives me insane.
Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. It's Hey Watching, yeah.
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
I'm Tony.
We're the guys who watch the movies that are released on Netflix that move into the bottom of the top 10 of the Netflix and then
Did it crack the
quickly
top
fall
10?
out. It was at 8 when you suggested 8 or 7 or 8 when you suggested it, and then when I went back to finally watch it yesterday, no longer in the top
Totally
10.
gone. Yeah, I'm shocked that it even hit the top 10. I feel like there must not have been a lot of things releasing that week then, because that many people should not be watching this movie.
No new episodes of Sex Pleasure Island.
Well, Love is Blind just dropped though. Just this week on Friday. I know you were making a joke, but it did happen. Love is Blind season 2 just dropped out. We watched the first episode last night, guys. Get on board. Let's do this.
We're not going to talk about all this crap because
all right,
it's too many things. I got to say this. I read this article. I saw this article, and they were talking about how The Bachelor and The Bachelorette are failures because the relationships don't last. And the Bachelorette, it was like 33%, and The Bachelor, it was like 12%.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Those seem like huge numbers for those shows.
The 30% for The Bachelorette sounds fantastic. Like, good job, guys. That's like almost 1 in 3.
That's insane.
That's huge. But the 12% is like, yeah, I mean, that's about what I expect. Like 1 in 10 might make it, I guess.
That's great. 1 in 10
is wild.
For those kind of shows?
I consider The Bachelor and The Bachelorette failures for completely different reasons. Long Live Joe Millionaire, for richer or poorer. So good.
So good. So each week we pick a movie and then we just spend our time talking about television.
Yeah.
So this week it was Tony's turn to pick something.
Yes,
he picked up, as Miley Cyrus would say, a banger.
This is a banger, man. It came in like a wrecking ball. Those are the only 2 songs that I know of hers. Otherwise, I would love to use this bit to riff a little more, but I'm out of Miley. I love Miley, just don't know her songs. Listen, Dan, it's Super Bowl week right now. Tomorrow's Super Bowl. I'm so jazzed. And I was like, we need to watch a sports movie. One that gets your blood pumping, gets you juiced up for the big game. I'm so ready.
Yes.
So I picked...
You picked Hoosiers.
Hoosiers, yes. Nope.
One of the greatest sports films of all time.
Sure, that's great. There's a lot of great sports movies, but this one beats them all.
Bad News Bears.
You like which, old or new?
The old one's great. The new one's, Billy Bob Thornton.
Okay.
The new one's not too bad, but the original's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it's no Mighty Ducks. Nothing's going to be Mighty Ducks.
The Mighty Ducks.
I love Mighty Ducks. This movie might be better than Mighty Ducks. They're neck and neck. Emilio, Kevin James, they are battling at the top. And this movie, it's home team. We haven't said it yet. Netflix classic. It's going to be around for a long time. It's the movie that every year around the Super Bowl, people are going to turn on and remember why they love football.
Feel good.
It's a feel-good family movie about fucking dirty cheaters and getting away with it. I mean, what a weird movie.
This movie, for some reason, wants to tell the tale of Sean Payton, the disgraced coach of the New Orleans Saints, when he was suspended because of Bountygate.
For only a year.
Oh God, no! We'll talk about Bountygate.
Yeah. We'll talk about some Bountygate.
Do the setup.
All right.
He was suspended for 1 year, and he went home and then reluctantly coached his stupid kids
and grew as a human, Grinch style. His heart grew 3 times. His football brain maybe 4 times bigger. I don't know, but he came back stronger than ever.
Stronger than ever. And so then he learns all these, because of his cheating scandal, he learns all these lessons working with these wonderful kids.
Like how to cheat to get into the championship, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Cheat to get into the yes. He just learns these great lessons and comes back and is it's like a better person. He's like more kind to his stupid employees and the dirty janitors that work in his building.
Exactly. Yeah. Who, by the way, do you know who that dirty janitor is?
No.
It's Sean Payton. That's his cameo in the movie. He's the janitor in the office, and he says, "Man, we sucked while you were gone, Sean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm talking to myself." I almost burned my house down. I swear to God, I almost lost my mind.
You did kind of tip the bit, since that was literally the most horrifying line in the entire movie.
Right, and we'll talk about it more later because
Jesus Christ, this movie is like, it's like somebody clapping themselves on the back saying,
"Oh yeah,
good job, good job. It's okay, good job."
Let's be real. Could you find anything anywhere that said Sean Payton wrote this movie? Because I would not put it past him. 100%.
I mean, the Bountygate thing, we'll set that aside. Sean Payton seemed like an okay guy, but like after this, you're just like, what the hell? Who needed to blow his ego so hard?
Yes,
by making
time.
This is like disgusting in its massaging of someone's ego.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Did you ever see the one, the Sandra Bullock one, where she brings in the football player? Yeah, was that a good one?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, it helps because she's good in it, unlike Kevin James.
Oof.
We'll have to put aside like a section on Kevin James alone, because this was a weird one for me.
Yeah, so Kevin James plays him, and Kevin James, big portly guy. Sean Payton maybe is now, but
not so. I don't think so. I mean, not the last time I saw him. He's like average sized, but he's certainly not Kevin James size. And then I don't want to get ahead of myself. It comes up in the movie, and it's weird.
I guess is it inclusion to like cast someone that's heavy as someone that's not heavy? What are your feelings about that, Tony?
I think it's called insulting. Okay, listen. I like Kevin James. I want to get that out here right at the top. I like Kevin James. He's hit or miss, obviously, as most things are, but I enjoy him as an actor and a comedian for the most part. But if I'm Sean Payton and they hire Kevin James to play me, I'm kind of like, huh? What happened? I don't understand. And then what's even better is I looked at pictures of the real people, quote unquote, versus the actors that play them. And the assistant coach or the head coach guy that got Taylor Lautner, he's a troll. He's not. I'm sorry, that was me.
He's a troll. Oh my God, Tony. Oh my God, that's so horrible. This poor guy. He's like watching this going like, I'm a troll. I do live under a bridge and I do eat children, but he's calling me a troll.
Okay, he's not a horrendous looking human being, but he's not Taylor Lautner. So if I'm Sean Payton and I'm like, they put Taylor Lautner as this guy, but I get Kevin James, I would riot. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry for the real life coach guy. That was rude. You're a decent looking guy. I'm sure I would be lucky to have you in my life.
Now, Kevin James isn't playing somebody funny. He's playing like kind of angry, kind of pissed off, kind of. He's kind of acting, and his acting is not the worst.
It's not the worst. I agree. But there's two things that I have a problem with. One is he downplays the jokes. He can deliver a joke. If
Sure.
anything, that's like the one thing that I feel confident that Kevin James can do is deliver a joke. He decides not to in this movie. And he just drops them all. There's no rhythm, there's no timing to the jokes. He's like deadpan. They'll get the joke if they want to. I don't need to deliver it. But then everyone else is in an Adam Sandler movie.
Yes, they are.
So like he's like this weird grounded guy
Yep.
in the middle of a chaotic world filled with stupid, terrible bits and awful caricatures of humans. And it's very weird. It doesn't work.
Yes, he's in a different movie because he feels like he has to
100%.
play Sean Payton as
Yeah.
Sean Payton, not as this sort of, I'm Sean Payton, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Right,
waka,
which
waka, waka, waka.
Which is what this movie should be.
Sure.
He's like trying to play it like Aaron Sorkin wrote this as like the sequel to Moneyball. And he's like, this is my Jonah Hill moment and I need to fucking crush this. He has no idea what's going on. I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, that's the thing when you try to do something that's meant to sort of, be a puff piece for like a person, you kind of have to play him like a person and not like a
like
thing.
a zany.
Like
yeah.
a zany. Yeah. Wacko.
It's weird. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
I love it.
So we set up, he wins the Super Bowl 2011. They rotoscope him in there, up there, like accepting the thing, and he does like this one tiny bit.
What a weird moment.
I don't even remember what the joke was, but it was like this sort of joke.
The joke is that the sports guy is like, I was rooting for you guys the whole time. And Kevin James is like, I don't remember you saying that. It's like, well, I didn't say it, but I thought it the whole time. Okay, I'm going to go now. What a weird, why is this happening?
Well, and he's like angry and bitter having just won the Super Bowl. He's
just
not like,
he's holding the Lombardi trophy in his hands and he's just like a curmudgeon.
Being a little bitch. So we very quickly he gets bounty gated and he's all burp, 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 and then we have
we skate right over it.
Oh yeah, we skate completely
we
over
downplay the hell out of it. It's not a big deal. He's just suspended. Don't worry about it. Moving on.
So then his one connection to the Saints is our friend Chloe Fineman playing like the world's dumbest person that works for him.
Uh-huh.
And it's just like really weird.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Once again, she's in an Adam Sandler movie, and then he's like not.
Kevin James is playing Sean Payton in the dramatic biopic.
So he goes back home. Why does he goes to Texas, where he used to be his home?
Yeah.
And it's his immediate thing to, I guess, to reconnect with his kid. I guess it is.
I mean, it kind of is, yeah. Like he goes to the hotel first, and then the next thing we really see is him go to the football game. Yeah, technically.
So the hotel, there's a guy there is that like Redneck's brother or something?
Dude, I have no idea.
I think it's Redneck's brother because his voice was very similar, and they look very similar. And I'm like, is that Rudnick? And I'm like,
okay,
the guy from Saturday Night Live and the Big Leap.
It. Yeah, he's not though.
And he runs.
He's not good.
Through the movie, he runs 3 or 4 bits that are just so weird.
They're not. They're not. I don't even understand how we get to some of them. Like, let's just focus on him for a moment, because one of the bits is how many nights are you staying, right?
Yeah, we do that 3 times,
which isn't funny. It's not like a funny bit. There's no like band. They have no chemistry because Kevin's doing the, dramatic piece and this guy's, doing some weird offbeat sketch comedy type of idea. He's like, well, if you stay 4 nights, you get the 5th night. Well, I'll stay 4 nights. Oh, you don't want the 5th night? Waka waka. I don't understand that bit. But the one I want to focus on is the hard-boiled eggs for a second.
I was praying it was the hard-boiled eggs. I didn't understand anything that was happening with the hard-boiled eggs. We get a scene where he's sitting at the desk and he's peeling hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah, he's taking the shells off the hard-boiled eggs for the continental breakfast in the morning. But, Dan, how do you make a hard-boiled egg? Will you teach me?
You boil it in water?
Sure, yeah, you take some eggs, you boil them in water, and then you cool them off, right? Now, that entire time, do you have the carton of eggs just sitting out? Because when he's peeling that, oh, excuse me, I knocked my microphone. I'm so upset. When he's peeling the eggs, he accidentally grabs one from the open carton of uncooked eggs. And that's the joke. He smashes one and the yolk comes out. Why are the eggs still out? He had to do 4 other steps with these hard-boiled eggs. Why are the other eggs not only out, but still within reach of him? I don't understand the setup of the joke itself.
So the other thing about it is it feels like maybe this guy and everybody else in the thing wrote their own bits. And everybody came in with their 2 or 3 pages and they're like, here's my bits.
I think that's true. Because here, the other thing that upsets me about this movie is the mom of the little girl in the stands, the kicker's girlfriend.
So weird.
She is so bizarre. She's not. Well, how is she in any world? Not only this world. She raises her arms. Smell. Oh, I'm gross. What is? She's not a human. And then the first time we see her, I mean, I don't know if it's first, but the first time I remember seeing her is when the kicker's having a problem. He looks over and she's eating Cracker Jacks or something, but she's doing the throwing thing and she's just missing them all over. But the scene's not about that. The scene is about this little girl having like a connection with the boy, and in the background you just see this mom bobbing and weaving to these Cracker Jacks. Like, what is happening? Who let this extra like do a bit? Just be like, sit there and shut up, lady. This is not about you. But she comes back some more. It's bizarre.
So okay. Oh, so we actually, before we get to the hotel,
I know. I'm sorry. I derailed us.
It's fine. This movie's got this movie's a lot going on. We meet the kids. Taylor Lautner's the coach, and then this other guy is the assistant coach, which you don't understand. Initially, I was completely confused. I assumed the other guy, big guy, was the coach, and Taylor Lautner was the assistant. And the whole idea is the real coach is garbage, and so Taylor has to sort of take over. But that's not what it is. Taylor is the coach.
Let's just talk about how much more sense that would make. Instead, they created this character who's not based on a real person. Taylor Lautner is technically based on a real person. Kevin James, definitely based on a real person. This third coach, as far as anyone knows, I read so many articles about this movie. Nobody thinks that this is based on a real person. So they created this third wacky, zany, alcoholic coach for no reason whatsoever other than comedic effect. Yeah, I know, it's great. Let's have an alcoholic around children all the time. That's a funny joke.
I really thought that Kevin James was playing both parts.
Dude, so did I.
I was like, oh, it's going to be this weird fission where he's like acting against himself. And then at a certain point, you're like, no, that's a different guy. It's a different guy.
But it's for a while, it sure looks like Kevin James in a fake mustache. It really does. Oh, that's so funny. I'm so glad you thought that too.
That's so weird. So we sort of set up these kids. These kids are uninteresting.
And here's my problem. They have 2 kids from the Mighty Ducks TV show.
Oh, okay.
Which is very solid. And the kids are great. The little chubby blonde kid, he is
pizza kid?
Yes, the pizza kid. He is so good in Mighty Ducks. In Mighty Ducks, we saw him when that show came over. Like, oh my God, this kid is gonna be a star. This movie doesn't give a shit about this kid, and it's a bummer. It is a bummer.
He just has some running ordering pizzas at the stadium bit that
and maybe it's
never
the kid's
lands.
Bit. Maybe you're right. Maybe the kid
just wrote the bit.
Maybe the kid brought it in.
Write yourself a bit. See how it goes. So he checks in. He gets the presidential suite, which costs $125 a night.
That's amazing.
That seems very low.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's incredible. What a steal. If I went to a hotel because my wife kicked me out of the house, very likely scenario. If I went to a hotel, I'm paying $150 for like a Motel 8, which I don't know if they have here, but still. That's amazing. I would stay there in a heartbeat.
So he shows up and he watches watches the game, and the very first thing we see is the little kid the field goal kicker is like 1 foot tall, and he goes to kick the field goal, and he looks at this girl, and the girl distracts him, and he kicks it, and it hits the center right in the butt, and of course he screams, "My butthole!"
Made me laugh every time, Dan. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I did it like 3 times, and you're like, I would have laughed if this movie was that movie.
I don't even know what movie this is. That's the problem, is that I think at some point it's like a choose your own adventure, Dan.
Sure.
Us as the audience just have to decide which angle we want to view it in, and then you stick to that and just let them do all the rest of the nonsense. So I don't know.
You were on there. And then we set up.
I'm on Team Butthole. Yeah.
Rob Schneider, he's up there. We see him for the first time, and he's got like this sort of gray stubble, and he looks like an ancient Chinese man or something. And you're like, you're looking at the face, and you're like, I know this guy. Is it Chris Elliott? I'm like, I know this guy. Who is this guy? I know this guy. And then he speaks, and you're like, it's Rob Schneider.
Oh, it's Rob Schneider. Got it.
And he's got the ponytail, and his whole bit is that he's like an Eastern philosophy guy, but he's sponging off of Sean Payton's ex-wife, who's now were they married or not married? I don't remember.
In this movie or in the real story?
In this movie. In the movie.
In this movie, I think they're officially divorced. I think.
Okay. No, I mean, is Rob Schneider married to her or not?
Oh yes, I believe so. Right.
I think so. I don't quite remember.
Think they say stepdad at one point.
I think so.
I do.
And then the wife is played by Adam Sandler's wife.
Oh.
That's Adam Sandler's wife. And there are 2 scenes in this movie, which I don't remember which 2 they are, where she's just wearing the weirdest makeup ever.
Well, she's not traditionally.
She's homely. Is that what you're saying, Tony?
Yeah,
she's
let's go with that. Let's go with that. Okay.
She looks okay sometimes, but sometimes she's wearing like all this weird makeup, and you're like,
sure. Also, you know what? Listen, I love Adam Sandler. I'm sure it's all good. She's not super funny.
She's not funny at all.
Right. I'm trying to be. I got my kids' gloves on here, Dan, because I still think me and Adam are going to be good friends someday.
Oh, okay, good.
Because we're both very old. I don't know, but okay, that makes sense. That's good for her.
So Sean shows up then, and they lose the game by like 40 plus points. And when they're down by 40 plus points, they turn off the scoreboard, and the game just ends.
Yeah, they call it.
Is that a real thing that they do?
It is.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a real thing. I don't know if everybody does it, and we don't have scoreboards for our 6th grade football games. But maybe that's a thing in Texas. I don't know. But they're definitely playing at high school stadiums and not like just kids. We play on a fucking soccer field in like the community center. That's where we play football. But yeah, if it's too one-sided, you call it to spare like injuries or, your ego.
So we do a whole, what are you doing here? He then insults the team members in front of the son.
Wait, hold on. Before we get there, my favorite line of the movie, that's sarcasm, by the way, is he's in the crowd and the mom is like, hey, what are you doing here? He's like, I'm here to watch my son play football. And then the other team scores and they're like, the Vikings have scored or whatever. And he's like, whoa. I'm guessing we're not the Vikings. You don't know what team your son's on?
Doesn't even
You're
know
here watching the entire game. You up until this point, you did not know what team your son is on?
More importantly, he doesn't know the name of his son's team.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Movie's over.
I'm going to also, we reinforce this much later, like right at the end of the movie when he finally, is totally reconnecting with his son. And he's all like, yeah, I'm going to fly you out to where I work. And the kid's like, do I get to meet Drew Brees? And you're like, this kid who's like, how old is that kid? 10, 11?
I feel like it's more than that, right? 6th grade?
No, it's less than 12 because at one point they remark on people being, so he's like 10 or 11.
Got it. Okay.
This kid has never come to visit his dad during football season.
Not a single time.
Not even once.
He's never, and that's what, 7 months of the year probably.
It's kind of like, huh?
Bizarre. Yeah, he's just a bad guy.
Yeah.
This James.
Well,
Kevin James in this movie is a bad, irredeemable character in my mind.
And they also make it seem like he doesn't even like pay any attention to the kid like when he's off from football season. Like it feels like he has not seen this kid since birth. It's no Christmases, no
super
birthdays,
weird.
Thanksgiving, Zoom calls. It's like almost like no contact. And Sean Payton, multimillionaire, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He has the ability to get in a private plane and fly anywhere in the world to see anyone
100%.
for a day.
Also,
so it's
not that this is important, he has 2 kids, so that I found weird.
What do you mean he has 2 kids?
They have 2 kids. They have a son and a daughter. But there's no daughter in this movie. Why is there no daughter in this movie? I don't get that. That bothered me the whole time.
They should have had somebody like Jenny McCarthy or someone play the daughter, wearing like a weird wig or something. That would have been funny. Let's see. Let's see. So he's back in the room worrying about things, and in the room is a sauna. The bed
it's
is
a
there.
jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sauna's the thing that gets hot. Jacuzzi is like the water.
Yeah.
And it's like literally like 4 feet away from his bed. It has these weird green lights, and all night it goes blah, 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 blah. And we do this bit 3 times that he's having a hard time sleeping because of this. What was that? I don't understand. Tony, explain it to me.
I can't explain that to you. It's not. First of all, here's my question. I've been to a lot of sleazy like motels because I'm poor and I like to travel in accommodations I can afford.
That's good.
I've been in a room.
This is a presidential suite.
This is a presidential suite in a shitty hotel. That's so I've been in rooms that there's a bed and then there's a tub in the middle for the sexy time. Like that's you've never been. But there's no
tub
water.
Isn't like in a.
You fill the water. They don't just have the water there all the time. That is a health hazard. Who's coming up there to like chlorinate the water? Nobody. That water is diseased. So
wait, there's a tub right next to like the bed, so you can just roll out of the bed into a tub.
Yes, sir. And there's usually mirrors so that you can see from all angles what's going on.
What are you
telling you, these rooms exist. I promise you, it's pretty great. I've been in it.
And they're just like rooms that prostitution is supposed to occur in or something?
I don't know if it's supposed to. I think it's like honeymoon suites. I think you're supposed to be in love, kids. Sex is best when you love your partner.
Ooh.
Wait, you to which part? Loving your partner?
No, these
Stan's anti-love. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day. I'm completely anti-love. Okay, so the sauna keeps him awake for some reason. Someone thought that was funny. I mean, somebody must have at some point had like this loud sauna in their room, and they're like,
weird.
Oh, we'll do this, and it'll be funny because it's loud.
It's not funny. It doesn't even make sense. It's and then he's like, the guy's like, I could bring you up a fan, and his response to that is, but then wouldn't I hear the fan?
That's
yes,
the fan. But
that's its sole purpose. The fan is white noise. I use it every night.
Fans are good for. I don't like fans blowing on me at night because it dries me out too much. But I understand
for sure.
I understand the noise effect of the fan, and it is a good thing. And stupid Sean Payton doesn't get it, and you're like, you're an idiot.
You're the dumbest guy I've ever met.
So we have a barbecue, and they mock the drunk coach,
which is again. This whole thing is weird to me because they made up this guy. He's there solely because they think it's funny that he's an alcoholic around children.
Well, I think that they wrote... this is what I think happened was Kevin James didn't have any Kevin James bits. So what he did was he wrote a bunch of Kevin James bits and then said, hire a fake Kevin James. He'll do these bits and it'll be like I'm in the movie as Kevin James.
Hire a poor man's Kevin James and give him all my bits.
Give him all of your bits.
Okay.
And make sure that all of them are disconnected from anything else in the movie.
But, okay, that describes every single bit of the movie. They're all disjointed and none of them are funny.
So then, of course, the thing happens that we, of course, know is Sean's in the stands and he realizes exactly what the other team is doing. And so he works his way out of the field and is like, do a 10-4-7 plus this, blah, 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 boo, 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 boo.
First of all, what he says is he needs to do a weak side safety blitz. Here's my problem, Dan.
That was not the right play.
So these kids don't know that play.
Nope.
They don't know how to do that.
Nope.
I'm just based on what we know about these kids, I'm not sure they know what strong side, weak side is. I really don't.
Nope.
I'm not even sure they know what the position of safety is. I have no idea. But what they haven't done is run a safety blitz in practice.
Never.
So you don't run that in the game by just saying, hey, run a weak side safety blitz. It's going to be great. You would have to take the safety side and be like, you're going to line up about 3 yards off the line when he hikes the ball. You just run full speed at the quarterback. That's all you have to do. That's a believable moment, is to like tell one player what to do. I'm irate at this point at this movie.
So you're saying even the football they can't get right in this stupid movie?
They get the football wrong a bunch in this movie. And let me just, guys, for the record, I coached football for like 8 years after high school. I coached my brother as he grew up and then coached a few other teams. I thought I was going to be a football coach. And then I flew out to California instead and ruined my entire life.
You could have done something useful with your life. And instead
I got hired as a freshman coach the same year I decided to come to California. I turned the job down, flew out here, and regretted my decisions ever since.
You could be on some like Netflix documentary about coaches and
I could have been in this movie, Dan. I could have been the guy.
Wow. So he feels pride because he did a thing and he told people what to do so that he could feel good about himself.
Which is a recurring theme.
So at a bar, he goes to the bar and he meets Troy, who's Taylor Lautner's, and Taylor Lautner's like, "We need you." And at this point, I wrote on here, this film feels like it was shot on a green screen. There's this weird, I don't even know what it is.
It's just bad lighting.
Is that what it is? The lighting's weird? Okay.
Yeah, the lighting's weird.
The lighting is just weird throughout this thing.
What happens, Dan, if you light too harsh from the back and then the background's too dark, you don't feel like you're in the same room as that. You feel displaced from that. And they did that a bunch of times in this movie, and it's super weird. I don't know.
Good. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like making
You're not
this
crazy.
up.
You're not crazy.
The movie's crazy.
Visually, it's very strange.
So he goes back to his hotel room, and by the light of the jacuzzi, he writes 1,000 plays.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say about that. Yeah.
So then he's driving his kid to the practice. This movie also has this amorphous use of time, where like how many times a week would you practice with this Pee Wee football league?
I mean, generally you get 2 practices a week. I mean, again, this is just based on us. You would practice twice and then have a game.
Okay,
every week.
So you'd practice like on a Wednesday and then on Saturday, and then your game would be on Sunday.
Yeah, and depending on how you do things, sometimes your first practice is full pats, and then your practice is closer to the game. You just do your top halves, and you kind of just run through plays. It just depends on what you're doing.
There it is. This is from a guy that could have been a coach.
I could have been a contender.
So he drives with Dad, and all the kids love him as coach. They're just like, they sign on instantaneously. And then we do this whole presidential assassination bit.
Super weird. I don't get it, Dan.
So weird.
But it's weird because I do feel like they stick the landing a little bit with this joke, which I don't feel like they do very often in the movie. But I like the last line of the joke, which is he's like, "Well, what would we do if you both get shot?" And he's like, "Well, we probably would cancel that game." Like that's funny. I don't understand how you don't get there organically. So that's the problem. Like it's you have a joke and you're like, I don't know how to fit this in the movie, but let's just say it. And then eventually we'll just cut it into the movie somewhere.
I mean, it fit in there. My issue is it's a whole presidential assassination bit.
Yeah.
Which is really weird.
It's dark.
It's very dark. So then we have this montage where he tests all the kids so he knows exactly what they can do.
Yeah, whatever.
And then he says the line, the only way to have fun is to win.
Yeah, great lesson to teach.
So this is
really good.
This is actually the point at which we finally see what this movie is about. The idea is the only way to have fun is to win. And of course, we're going to find out that the only way to have fun is by actually having fun, and winning can possibly be a byproduct of having fun, but it isn't.
It's not the be all end all.
Yeah. Which is
basically Kevin James needs to learn to be Ted Lasso. Yes. And that's the end of it.
Yes. And this one, all these movies are exactly alike. They're all about these sort of very typical things. And this movie knows what it's supposed to be, but it doesn't.
Can't do it. Just can't do it.
So,
have we already talked about the double snuggie, Dan? Did we miss that?
I skipped over that.
Okay, we'll move right along from the double snuggie.
Yes,
what a terrible bit.
Who somehow that was Sean Payton owned that.
Apparently,
snuggie.
Yeah, apparently that's his snuggie. Maybe that's why it's so big. Ba-doons. I'm not supposed to make fat jokes. I apologize.
So what he does is he gives them the playbooks, and then he starts moving the kids around in the middle of the game, which makes the parents and then it doesn't work. He just goes, here's playbooks, understand everything. Okay, now you're going to all do these things, and they don't understand everything, and everything fails. Yeah. And then a couple of the parents get mad because their kids look like garbage out there, which is a classic trope. And
it is, except for in this case, they're kind of right.
Oh, they're completely right.
Right. He just ruined the team, visually, just from outside, basically ruined the team, just changed everyone's positions. They're not good. Taylor Lautner's got a great line where I don't know exactly what it was, I didn't write it down, but he's like, we're bringing them in new positions. And Taylor's like, they can't play the positions they're already in. Something like that. Very funny, very true. And it's you don't do this at the game. You just don't. You gotta do it in practice. You gotta let them figure this shit out. Whatever, it's fine. We're in a movie. We gotta do it fast.
Well, it's kind of interesting because it shows that he's actually a crap coach.
Oh, there's a bunch of instances where he's a terrible coach in this movie. Yeah.
So we're worse. The kids are demoralized, and then they all go out for burritos, and then we have one of those breakthrough moments where he teaches the kids the plays by showing them condiments.
Here's why this scene doesn't work, Dan. Because the plays they're running aren't actually relatable to food. It doesn't, being that their food doesn't help you understand what they're doing. And that's what they're making it seem like, because he's at the end, one of the kids is like, oh, what 47 jet sweep? What are you talking about? And he's like, burrito with everything. It's not like an analogy. It's just a different name. I have a real problem with it.
So the son is won over, but he wants him to commit that he'll stay. And of course he doesn't commit because which of course he's supposed to commit at this point, and then he's supposed to leave, which is what's supposed to happen.
Or make a choice. He doesn't make a choice.
No.
He appeals, tries to go back. They say no again. He's like, well, I guess I'm staying. He never has to make that choice, and that's a huge mistake.
So, he's like, as his dad, he's like, son, I'm your dad, and you can ask me anything. You're like, whoa, okay. And then what do they talk about?
A little Reddit AMA action.
They talk about him doing an onside kick, which you're just like, what? The
Very
kid
strange.
does not care about his stupid onside kick.
No.
Nobody
Either
cares.
Do we. That's the problem. I don't care either.
Did they show us the onside kick in the...
No, in the beginning? No, for sure not.
So,
right?
So,
yeah.
I don't know what they're talking about. I'm sure there must have been some important onside kick in the Super Bowl that they're referencing.
Sure. Yeah, 20 years ago when it happened. 10 years ago.
And then the kid looks him in the face and brings up Bountygate, and he's like, "Did you do it?"
Yeah.
He just said, "I'm going to answer questions." And what does he say? It's complicated.
It's complicated.
Not going to tell you anything.
F- movie. You fudged up.
This is the point where Sean Payton says, "I did the wrong thing. I screwed up. I'm an asshole. He maybe says that, it's complicated, but I took responsibility. Maybe says like
But
little
in that
couched
sentence,
line.
he's not taking responsibility. This is why this moment is so upsetting, because he's like, did you do it? It's complicated, but I'm the coach and I have to take responsibility. But you're not taking responsibility. You're appealing the claims. You're saying, hey, I didn't do anything, but I'll take responsibility, but I didn't do it. Awful writing. There's no character development. This is like the crux of the film. Yep. He has to have a real character moment here, and they throw it away.
Well, what they have to do is make him a character and make him feel something and make us actually root for him.
Oh, just make him like human.
Yeah, make him human. So when he goes down the wrong path again, which we know he's going to go down the wrong path again, that's how a movie works.
There's a proven track like he has to follow.
But he's the same asshole until the very end, where he makes a slight adjustment because he's a good guy.
Except for he's a good guy. He just was berated by like the entire team, his son, and the other coach. But no, it's because he's a good guy. That's why he changes. Stupid movie.
Don't dip it. So the next game, they win the next game. They have a pool party. Then we have this montage of winning because, of course, now they're just winning because they can do the burrito.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Before we get that, we have to talk about them not understanding the playbook. They're on the bus ride home. And he's like, hey, who doesn't understand the playbook? And everyone raises their hands, including the drunk coach, which I did laugh at because I like cheap laughs.
And the driver.
Oh, God, we have to talk about that driver at some point. But nobody understands the plays. Yep. But on top of that, you know who else doesn't understand the plays?
Who else?
Taylor Lautner. He hands Taylor Lautner the playbook. He's looking at it. And Kevin James goes, it's upside down.
So he's so stupid.
Only Sean Payton's been coaching them for like 8 years. Like this movie, he said, I've been coaching him for years and I've never seen you. He's coached him for years. He doesn't know how to read a playbook.
Nope.
Come on.
He's an idiot.
This is the worst movie.
Which is why you look at Ted Lasso, and why Ted Lasso is so interesting is he ropes everybody in. He makes everybody part of the thing.
Yes.
And finds that untouched talent. Or unused talent. This movie, no, stupid.
A lot of speed on the outside.
Only Sean Payton is smart enough.
Oh, hold on. Let's talk about the bus driver, Dan.
Bus driver.
Just real quickly. This is not a human being. What's going on here? I don't understand what's happening. This is a caricature at best. How does he fit in the movie?
I didn't write down any of his bits because I couldn't.
Well, they're all terrible. But not only is he the bus driver, but he also was on the sidelines during the games.
Sure.
Like, he's there, and I don't understand what is happening. That doesn't make any sense. Is he a coach who also just happens to be a bus driver? Or is he a bus driver who they invite to the sidelines?
They printed him up. So your bus, like when you guys did coaching and stuff, the bus driver wasn't an integral part of it?
They leave. They drop you off. They go on break. They don't want to hang around. They don't give a shit about you.
Everybody cares about this team. The whole town invested in this team. We never did that. The town didn't get invested in the stupid team.
No, the town. Nobody cares. It's all
stupid.
All I want to say is I miss Chris Farley as the bus driver in Adam Sandler movies.
Chris Farley.
No yelling on the bus. So good.
One of the kids' moms hits on Sean. Sean loses the appeal. And then we meet the Porcupines. The Porcupines are this incredible team that comes out there with this great music. And they're like, stick them. And they're just like, boom, boom, boom. You're like, okay, I want these guys to win.
Yeah, they're a better team. They're like a real football team. They're well coached. We get the disciplined. It's great. Nothing. I like the
one joke. There's one joke in the movie I liked. They're like, these kids aren't 12. And then that kid looks like he has a kid. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
That was fine. There's a couple. I think I counted 3 jokes that I laughed at. I think
I was at about 2.
Wow. Good.
So they kicked his ass. Sean is humiliated. And then he's like, okay, what we have to do is we have to now win the next 5 games. Then we'll get in the championship. Then we can play him again.
Yeah. Yep.
there it is.
Great
So
math. Hold on. We missed
Yeah.
a point that I need to talk about because it leads into a lot of other stuff.
Okay.
When the parents are mad at him about changing positions.
Two parents.
I think this is when this happens.
For 13 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. At one point he says, I treat all my players the same, always have.
Lie.
That's a direct line from the Sean Payton character.
Lie.
But then he benches his players.
He's lying to get out of a situation.
Is that what it is?
Yes, he's a liar, and he will lie to get out of any situation. Right?
Because he's a cheater.
He's a
cheater
liar
and a cheater.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. I'm back on board. That's correct.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit. This guy's a real piece of work.
That's what they're saying Sean Payton is, and so I guess maybe that's what he is.
Well, he is now, but at the end of the movie, he's a real saint, if you will.
So they're gonna help the kicker get over his girl problems by like going to her house and then singing. And so they say that this kid has a beautiful voice. And so he starts singing in front of this house. His voice, horrible.
What?
Horrible.
I mean, it's not the worst voice I've ever heard. But I mean,
not
he's
the
not
worst voice, but
it's
okay,
not
Tony,
angelic by any means.
If I say to you, watch my incredible tap routine, and then I do my tap routine, do you go, that was an incredible tap routine? Well, yeah, you say that because you're insulting me because my tap routine was beyond garbage.
Boy, that was a really... I've never seen tap as tappy as that. That's top-notch tap.
This kid's not a good singer. This kid is he's not the voice of the angel that moves up to the front of the choir and everybody's like, shit. Sign that boy up for the opera.
I mean, and so here's that's like a dying cat. I like it. Here's the thing, Dan.
What's the thing, Tony?
Yes, the kid not super good, but they also give him a song that's very hard to sing.
Well, he's a great singer. He should be able to sing it.
The lead singer of Fun is fucking phenomenal at singing. Like, he's so good. You don't give a kid that song. That's like setting him up for failure.
Yep.
You're like, oh, you want to be this again? The kid must have brought the bit and been like, "Hey guys, I'd like to sing. I've been singing in my free time." Like, oh, you want to sing?
My mother says I'm an incredible singer. Incredible.
Yeah, well, we'll teach her a lesson. Try singing this, you fuck. I mean, it's unbelievable. Not only that. All right. So all of that aside, that song is from 2012, when ostensibly these kids are like 2 years old. And that's the song he chooses?
Well, this movie's taking place in 2011, 2012.
Shit, you're right.
Stupid
I was
Tony.
so mad. I was like, these kids weren't even alive when that song came out. You're right. They were trying to be topical.
Thumbs down for Tony.
It's hardly
They
a love
weren't
song.
trying to be topical. They just picked a song because they're idiots. So something happens, and they have these things, and they set a tree on fire, and then the tree hits the car.
Yep.
Burns up the mother's car, and then she's not going to be able to go to work.
Yeah, let's talk about that. How that doesn't make any fudging sense, Dan. Okay. No, okay, yeah, sorry, you go.
I'm going to go. What I really thought is later on in the thing, the girl who this kid is in love with comes out with a sign, is holding a sign, whatever the kid's name is. And I first thought for sure we were going to get a bit where Sean Payton had bought the mother a new car just so he could get that stupid girl out there to manipulate the kid.
Oh, Dan, that would have been nice. I like that.
That would have been nice. Being horribly manipulative.
Well, sure, but at least he's trying. You know, he's using his wealth. Yeah. He's using his wealth to help kids. That's great. People love that.
But no.
That didn't happen.
The girl was out there for an unknowable reason with that sign for no known reason. Now,
that's a great point that you brought this up, because that scene, that's where she blows him the kiss, right?
Yeah.
And then the coach of the Porcupines goes, why is my stepdaughter
oh, that's his
blowing that kid a kiss? Apparently those people are married? What? Why was she in the stands the whole time then? What is the mother and daughter of the other team doing at all of their practices and games? I don't understand what just happened.
I gotta make a confession, Tony.
Okay, go.
Shannon looks over at me. She's like, aren't you supposed to be watching your movie? I'm like, yeah, I'm watching my movie. And she's like, well, why are you on your phone? I'm like, I'm playing solitaire.
I'm playing solitaire. Well, listen, I don't blame you. It's more fun than this movie. but you did miss some great stuff that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So okay, back to this scene where her car just burned up. She's crying, and she's like, I'm not going to get to work tomorrow. I'm going to get fired, and I won't be able to pay for things. One, ostensibly, she's married to a guy who's still in the house, didn't come out to check on the fire. I don't really know. Two, he can't just drive her to work then. Three, Uber, Lyft, taxis, none of these exist in this town. If you don't have a car, you can't get somewhere.
It's a nice neighborhood too.
It's a nice neighborhood.
It's not like, it's not like, crack houses and, it's like nice.
Yeah, she can afford a taxi. She can afford a taxi. I don't know. It was woof.
Oh my God.
Woof, so dumb.
So we get to the big game. Is this the last big game or the second to last big game? Yeah, no, this is the second to last big game. In the mud, in the rain.
Right.
Rob Schneider gives them like this weird food.
Super logs? I don't remember what they were called.
Yeah, there was a joke in there. And then we're in there, we're getting to the end. The kicker could go in and kick and win the game. But they're like, no, we're gonna go for the play. Yep. And then all the kids start barfing. And then Sean Payton, because Sean Payton's a piece of garbage, like keeps his kids in there sick playing because all that matters is him.
Not only that, but he's like, oh, this is a great opportunity. If they throw up on the other team, then we'll definitely score and win. So he cheats again to get to the championship. Unbelievable.
So they win, and he's like so he goes back to the room, and I guess a week passes or 2 weeks pass. We don't really see because nothing happens in that time.
Yeah, he's got no character development in between football games.
He cannot figure out how to beat the other team because he's a bad coach. So he calls a really good coach, Bill Cowher, and Bill Cowher has to explain to this idiot how to win the game, what their offense is. He cannot figure out what an offense is.
Dan, I read a lot of articles. Supposedly this is true. He didn't call the guy in the movie. He called a different coach. But I think that guy said no or something to the movie, something like that. But this really happened. So let's take a minute and talk about the real story.
So wait a second.
Yeah.
So tell me about the real story because I don't know anything about the real story. The way they make it play like this is the most garbage team that's literally never scored a touchdown in any game ever.
Yeah,
and then he turned them around by being uber coach and made them into the greatest.
All false.
Who go on to the championship game. All false. All lies.
That part's true. So according to all these articles I read, the team was doing fine. They had won their first game of the season 30-0. 30-0. And then Sean comes in and then they start turning off the scoreboard once he gets there. So they do improve, but they were a good football team to begin with.
Wait a second. They start turning up. They're destroying the other guys every game.
Every game. They destroy. They almost go undefeated except for the Porcupines. They lost one regular season game, and it was to the Porcupines, and then they met again in the championship. So Sean Payton really calls one of his old coach buddies and is like, hey, I need help with this wing. I think it was the wing eye, something. I don't remember what he said. And then the guy helped him devise it, and they still lost. Even after all that, they still lost the championship. So Sean Payton does jack squat to this team, in my mind.
So, okay.
He's out-coached by a youth football coach.
The Porcupine guy is a better coach than Sean Payton. They should have sent him to the Saints.
100%.
There it is.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
So, he calls Bill Cowher. Let's see. So he's there and he's figured everything out. So what his plan during the big game that he comes up with, like he doesn't even talk to the kids before the game to set them up that he's going to do something different, but instead does mad scientist on the field second of, and what he does is he uses his offensive players on defense and keeps on going back and forth,
Yeah. And let me just say, Dan, just taking your best players and making them play two-way football, that's not good coaching or revolutionary coaching. It's just use your best players all the time and maybe you'll have a shot at winning. That's it. That's not coaching.
Well, it is
I was
coaching.
very upset. It's not.
Bad
I mean,
coaching.
it's the opposite of coaching because you're not teaching these kids anything. But that's neither here nor there. But it's not like a big coaching moment.
No, God, no.
Stupid.
No. It's just
Very bad.
It's the whole idea of everything that the NFL has taught him, he has brought here, and it's garbage tech that is only about winning. It's not about making better kids or being a human being or doing something good in the world.
Yep.
So it's working, but he's running the kids ragged. So we get into halftime, and he's like, "Suck it up, you assholes!" Basically, and then his kid stands up, and the kid spends 5 minutes shaming his father,
as he should.
This kid, so Sean doesn't come to a realization. He doesn't look over at his kid and go, "I've done the wrong thing." What? He does not search his soul. He has his kid come over there and shame him, and does that
in front of the whole team.
He
embarrasses his dad in front of all of his peers, basically.
And does that work, Tony?
No, it still doesn't work.
Still doesn't work. Still doesn't work.
That's how terrible this character is. His 12-year-old son or whatever it is, like, berates him, tells him he's terrible at everything, and the guy's still like, "No, I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right."
So they go back out there. He
wait, hold on, Dan. This is my actual favorite joke of the movie when the drunk coach is like, "All right, guys, that's halftime." Oh wait, nope. No, never mind. We got 7 minutes left. Like, that's fucking funny. I don't know. We got 7 minutes left. How do you do that wrong? That's great. That's a good joke.
So they go out there. He's still doing the thing, and basically his kid gets injured,
annihilated, just annihilated, wrecked,
and that's what it takes for him to finally wake up. His kid shaming didn't work.
Nope.
So his kid has to literally get injured on the field for this piece of garbage to wake up and go, "Hey, this is about having fun and not about my ego and not about win at any cost." Yeah. I've learned something.
Yeah, no, you haven't. Sorry.
We've learned you're an idiot.
Yeah, too little, too late.
So he puts the other kids in there, and the one kid's like, who was afraid of getting hit, is like, "Now I'm Superman," and then he scores a goal.
Yeah, I have a real problem with that because I like the idea of a storyline of a kid who doesn't like to hit, like, learning how to do that. That's great. We don't do that. He doesn't hit, hits a ton. Like, it's just like a weird jump. All of a sudden, he can do everything. He's doing spin moves. He's taking 2 guys out at one time. I'm like, what's happening, Dan?
Well, it's because Sean Payton has shamed him by putting him on the bench, that he realizes that the only way to gain Sean's love is by performing. Murder. Yeah. That's the whole thing. It's that Sean's manipulation has worked properly. And now the kid will do something that's outside of his comfort zone and is risky and dangerous to his health, because that's what he has to do for Sean to make Sean happy.
Awful movie.
So they put in the field goal music. They put in the field goal unit instead of trying to just win the game, to try to tie the game. And the kid comes in there, and the girl shows the sign, "Go, idiot." And the kid kicks it.
Go, idiot.
And the ball sails, and it hits the scoreboard, and the scoreboard explodes in fireworks, and everybody's like, "Hooray, fireworks!" And then everybody's like, "That's the real villain of the story, is that scoreboard." and by defeating that scoreboard, all is good. Sean Payton really did coach this team to what it needed to do, which was defeat a scoreboard.
A scoreboard.
What the hell?
I mean, I have so many problems with the end of this movie. First of all, that scoreboard, super dangerous. If one football hitting it makes it explode for 20 minutes, that's not a good scoreboard. All right, like, that's a very scary scoreboard. Someone needs to fix that.
Big lawsuit.
But that girl is standing on the track outside of the football field, almost underneath the scoreboard. It's not that far back.
It's behind her.
It is behind her. Sparks are flying. She's just smiling. No one thinks to move her. No one's like, oh, hey, young lady, maybe get out of the fire zone and get to safety?
Maybe
Nobody cares.
She might have been deaf. It's a possibility.
Yeah, we don't know her character. Who knows?
So Sean Payton's kid comes over there. Is like, good job, Dad. You finally did the right thing.
This movie spends the last 7 minutes telling me that he has grown as a character. They repeatedly, like literally in lines, try to reaffirm that this is a good movie and that he's learned his lesson. Like the people in the booth are like, this is a good ending. They say that they verbatim. They say, this is a good ending. Fuck you. Don't tell me this is a good. First of all, it's a terrible ending. It's very stupid. But the movie should not be telling me that it's a good ending. That is a cardinal sin.
At the end of the Bad News Bears, the Bears lose. And you know what the Bears do? They're supposed to line up and shake hands. And the Bears are like, start flipping them the bird and start cussing them out. And then the coach gives all the kids beers. And then they start squirting beers on the other team. Wait, maybe they stop and tie the game. I don't remember what happens. But the kids go wild and have a wild moment. It's not about the praise of the God coach who finally learned his lesson.
Yep.
Stop. Make it about the kids.
100% it's a kids movie.
Nope.
It needs to be about the ducks. Ducks fly together. Quack, quack. These are all Mighty Ducks quotes. Sorry, Dan.
Yeah, but this is just about the self-aggrandizement of the coach and how perfect he
ridiculous. So, and then, sorry, you go.
And then he goes back to the Saints because...
Okay, hold on. Before we get there,
there's another end there. Okay.
We're still in the wrap-up of this movie. So then Kevin James goes to Taylor Lautner's character and says the line, and I quote, "Boy, you taught me so much this season, Coach. You really did."
Taylor Lautner says that?
No, Kevin James says that to Taylor Lautner.
Taylor Lautner never taught him anything.
Never taught him a single thing. In fact, in the last game, Kevin James takes over as head coach, essentially, and doesn't listen to Taylor Lautner at all. What did he teach him?
Shuts him out of the defense. He's like, no, you're not defense. I'm everything.
Right. So, nope, sorry. Not going to work. Super pass. Oh, it's so dumb.
So dumb.
And then,
we're
still going on the wrap-up, Dan.
We go back. Oh, so he has his thing with the kid.
Well, yes, he has his lunch with his son.
And he says, you can come visit. You can start visiting me now because I've learned that I shouldn't. I don't know what he learned about being a dad finally.
I'll tell you exactly what he says is, and I quote, he said, "I learned I needed you more than you guys needed me." End quote. But I'm going to go back to the Saints and never see you again. And everything's back to the exact same thing it is. So I don't really need you. I actually need football in the Saints, but they just wouldn't let me go. So you were a nice interim. Fuck off, son.
And then the guy at the hotel shows him a video of his wife giving birth.
Super weird. I don't understand
funny.
the bit.
Super funny. And then he goes back and Chloe's there and she's an idiot again. And
she says something about Russell Sprouts, and then he's like, "That's not how you say that food," or something.
She's so stupid. She doesn't know what foods are called.
She doesn't know Brussels sprouts, dude. I can't handle it.
And then we have the guy come in there and said, "We really sucked without you."
Yeah, we got to break this down.
Which is, Shannon said, yeah, they really did. That they lost all their games and were terrible.
They did. All right, so I looked it up.
You looked it up.
They were 7-9 the next season. Yes, that's a dramatic fall from Super Bowl stardom.
Yeah.
Right. But so that's 2012. They were 7-9. In 2014, 2 years later, with Sean on the team, also 7-9. So
he's a wonder.
I don't really know what to tell you. Sean Payton not doing a whole lot.
He's a wonderkind. He turns it around.
Wonder kid.
And then he puts the little second place trophy that he got right next to the big Super Bowl trophy because it's just as important to him because he learned to be a
so stupid
human being.
He didn't learn shit about shit, I'll tell you that. Let's talk real quick. I just want to retouch on this. The fact that the person who says we really sucked while you were gone is fucking Sean Payton.
7 and 9 Sean Payton.
7 and 9 Sean Payton just like self-aggrandized. Like, I don't even understand. It's so gross to me that his cameo in the movie is telling the fictionalized version of himself how good he is. It is disgusting. I hate it so much. Everyone can, they're the worst.
So this movie can stick it up its butthole.
Ow, my butthole. Still makes me laugh. I don't know. It's funny.
Anything else, Tony?
Yeah, the one thing that we didn't touch on that I want to bring up just real quickly because I found it weird is when they were getting in their winning, like, you got to be your best self or whatever. The funny kid from the pizza kid from Mighty Ducks is eating pizza in his locker, and Kevin James is like, "You can't eat pizza. That's not the best version of yourself." And it's weird to fat shame a kid. But B, it's also weird because Kevin James eats pizza 4 times a day, I'm pretty sure. That guy's not the picture of health. Fuck you. Fat shaming a kid, you idiot. That was it. That just pissed me off. I was very upset. And we just it's this one weird moment in the film that should never have made the movie. I'd slap him in the face if I could.
Oh, Tony. Slap in the face. So, give me this a no thanks.
No thanks. No thanks. I'll see you next Super Bowl though. This is a great yearly movie. I'm in. I still love Taylor Lautner.
Taylor Lautner was good, and it was sad that he got nothing in the midst of this movie.
He's got they don't allow him to do anything. It's a bummer. I still think this kid deserves a fucking shot. Let's get Taylor Lautner in more movies. This isn't going to help.
Get him a good TV show.
Okay, I'm in. Yeah.
Something.
I want him to have a...
So this is the part of the show where we talk about something we liked this week. I just started reading Saga by Brian K. Vaughan. Really interesting science fiction war.
Are you saying this is the first time you've ever read Saga?
Yeah.
Wow, that just surprised me. You like comics. Saga's phenomenal.
I haven't started a lot of new comics in the last 10 years.
Okay.
And so I listened to a nice interview with him, and I was like, okay, I'll give this a shot. And it's interesting. He works on it without an editor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Which he should get an editor.
Well, I mean, they do serve a pretty good purpose.
An editor... I guess he has people read it and make issues, but
but
editor's important, I think.
I love Saga. They took a long break, but they're back now, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, good world building, pretty interesting, different take on a lot of things. So yeah.
Brian K. Vaughan also does a series called Paper Girls, which is really good and worth a look.
Comic book, you mean?
Yeah, graphic novel. Yeah,
graphic novel. Ugh.
Very so. I don't know.
Novel.
I don't even know the difference, if I'm being honest. So maybe it is a comic.
Graphic novel. What do you got for us, Tony?
I think I have 2 things, but because I can't remember when I watched this thing, and I don't remember if I pitched it last week. Did I pitch Reacher last week?
No, you did not pitch Reacher last week.
Oh my God, dude! Reacher is my jam. Really? Amazon Prime, short season. Okay. It's got Alan Richardson from Blue Mountain State, the football show where he plays Tad, and then Smallville. He played Aquaman for 4 episodes. Arthur Curry, great.
Smallville. Ooh.
He is beautiful. This guy's body is incredible, and he shows it off a bunch in this show, which is amazing. But this show's great, dude. It's so fun. I love it.
Pissed off Tom Cruise, right? Because he's so good looking.
I mean, here's the thing: is the whole thing about Jack Reacher is he's a giant. They say it a lot. Like, he's 6'5", he's a big beefy guy, and then they hire Tom Cruise in a movie, and everyone loses their minds. They're like, he's the opposite. And no one was like, Tom Cruise sucks. They're just like, he's not Jack Reacher. Sure. He's the opposite of Jack Reacher. But this guy is Jack Reacher. He's the king of a look. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't say much, but he'll give you those eyes. It's great. It's fun. The surrounding cast is incredible, and it bums me out that they're probably not coming back for season 2
Why?
because it's kind of they're following books, and the books he goes from town to town. That's his whole thing. Is he's like a drifter.
So it's a whole new story, whole new.
Yeah,
milieu.
which I mean, I luckily he's great, and so I still am excited. But the surrounding cast of season 1 is phenomenal.
Well, that means they're going to hire another great surrounding cast if they have the same showrunner.
I hope so.
You know,
I hope so.
And that's the whole thing: is more people will have the option to work on a good show. Well, that's cool. And I will definitely check that out.
Check it out. It's a real like dad rock show where it's just like a dude bashing heads and solving crimes. Great time. I don't know. I have a good time with it. The other thing I wanted to throw out is we watched Marry Me last night for Valentine's Day on Peacock. Owen Wilson, J-Lo. It's adorable.
Oh,
I loved it.
Shannon wanted me to do that movie for this. She's like, that's got to be terrible.
We can do it, but I'll gush about it for a full hour. I loved it. I don't think that the world's gonna love it as much as I do because it's a very like early 2000s, late 90s chick flick.
He's a teacher and she's a superstar, and then they get married because he's holding up the sign.
It's like Notting Hill, but in reverse. It's great. It's very cute. It's like a classic rom-com, which I don't feel like we do very often anymore. And when we try, he's all that. We fuck it up so bad that I want to just murder people. But this is good. I had a good time.
Does she look like his mom?
No.
Okay.
She looks good, dude.
Just good. Okay. Yeah. There's just like this one shot in the trailer where I was like, man, she looks much older than him.
Nah. They look good. And they have a lot of chemistry. They're both they work well off each other. Yeah.
J-Lo's she can be good, you know?
And they let her sing. Like there's like musical performances, which are great. The whole thing's fun. You guys should give it a shot.
So we're gonna step back in the time machine this next week.
Oh boy, how far?
Back to 1983.
Woof. Okay, here we go.
I was thinking to myself, let me think about an actor I really hate, and let's watch the worst movie that an actor I really hate did. And so, the actor I want to do some hate on is Dennis Quaid.
Oh no, poor Dennis.
Dennis Quaid.
Okay. All right.
One of the few actors I met in real life for about 30 seconds, and he just seemed like a giant dick.
Oh no, Dennis. I can see it.
Total giant dick. And this was back when he was with Meg Ryan, and we used to do
his life was going well.
We used to do work, and I never met Meg Ryan, but everybody else in my work met Meg Ryan. They were like, she's the sweetest. Dennis, piece of garbage. So
both of those things don't surprise me. I'm on board.
So we're going back to 1983. We're going to the third sequel, or maybe it is the third installment of the greatest shark movie of all time, Jaws.
Oh God, we're going to Jaws 3. Is this Jaws 3D?
Jaws 3. Jaws 3D. It's only 3 now because
because the D is gone.
Because 3D televisions just didn't light it up. Do you remember?
Yeah, it didn't pan out.
Do you remember going to the Circuit City and looking at the 3D TVs and going like, yeah, right.
What's happening? I don't even understand what I'm looking at.
What idiot's going to buy this? Well, there were idiots that bought those. Same idiots that buy NFTs.
I wish I had money to buy NFTs. I think I would do good in that market.
You would. You'd kill it. You'd be spending hundreds of thousands and making hundreds of millions.
Just throwing money away. I don't know what I'm buying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jaws 3D with Dennis Quaid. Who knows? I guess it's Jaws at SeaWorld.
I don't think I've ever seen this, Dan.
I don't think I've seen 2.
I feel like I have. I don't know. I don't know. I've seen Jaws a bunch.
Well, Jaws is a perfect movie. And so it's going to be interesting to see how they de-perfect a perfect movie by trying to remake the movie a third time.
Yeah, I'm interested.
And just doing bunch of terrible things.
I wonder if I need to watch 1 and 2 to get 3.
I don't think you do.
Okay.
I mean, you should watch 1 because 1, not this 1. You should watch Jaws because it's just an incredible movie. And what's that? That was Spielberg, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe his best movie.
What else is there? I feel like I disagree, but I can't think of why.
Raiders, maybe?
No, I'm not a huge listen, I'm the guy that thinks Crystal Skull is just as good as the other Indiana Jones movies, so I'm not the one to ask.
Tony, did you just say you think Crystal Skull? Do you think Crystal Skull is a good movie?
No, I think it's just as good as the other indie movies because I don't think they're great movies. I think Harrison Ford, phenomenal. The movies themselves, kind of boring.
God, Jesus, Tony. You are just the most broken person on the planet.
Wow, Dan. That's not going to mend my broken pieces, sorry. Okay?
Second most broken person on the planet after Sean Payton.
After Sean. It goes me, then Sean. Just very close, but I'm winning that battle.
Because you might redeem yourself. He did not redeem himself.
Oh, I'm working on it every day. Every day, Dan.
So, if you like what you see here, give us a like, give us a subscription, maybe leave a comment talking about which 15 minutes part of this show is your favorite 15-minute part, the beginning, the first
maybe do less
middle,
than
15.
I don't even know if anyone's tuning in for 15 minutes. Give them like a type 5. What's your type 5 favorite part of the show?
4th 15th minutes, or the 5th 15th minute, or the occasional, sometimes the 6th 15th minutes.
Yeah, we do. We do stretch it. We do.
Yeah, we do. So that's our show. Hope you like it, and maybe we'll see you next time.
Goodbye, everybody.
Hey, watch him!